welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, here to share a little bit of, well, like this stream is titled, sharing tips and encouragement for life. Those are pretty important topics, I think. I wish I'd have found more tips and encouragement for life in my younger days, but, praise be. I got enough to get me through. And so here today, I'm trying to offer to you, whoever you might be, a little bit of tips, encouragement for life that I found to be pretty helpful. Why should you listen to me? You don't have to. You really don't. I encourage you to because, well, from my experience, there's reasons that we should actually listen to each other anyway, right? Even if you don't actually know someone, but if you pay attention to what people are saying, might really become surprised by what you might be able to learn. Because that's what I've been learning about this universe, this realm we are experiencing, life, right here on Earth at this time. What we're doing, and there's a lot of variables involved. There's a lot of moving pieces in you being you and the little routines that you do and the little routines I do. All of these routines that everyone's doing creates this greater society. And that greater society is creating history for the world right here and now. The human species, we're a part of it. See, I don't think the zebras and lions and all the other fish in the sea, I don't think they really keep track real closely of history, but we do. Mankind does. Mankind, we've been given this awareness in our minds, this ability to cognize, to be conscious, and to imagine and remember and communicate with each other in very profound ways. I mean, even today, we could be speaking to people all around the world. And my words today, from this point of here with me, my words today may be received by someone in the future. I don't know. Never know what's going to happen. And sincerely, dumbass, I do. You are a joy in this experience. Sincerely. And Winnie Ben, thank you for joining. Blessings. Anson Howard, his story. Yes, his story has been written and recorded by the victors, right? Because the losers, sometimes they're just wiped out, you know. So the most common stories are told by those who have won. And there's all sorts of records of people exaggerating in history. you know the emperors, the rulers, they'll hire scribes, particularly, make me sound good, glorify me, right, make these people worship me. So that happened with the emperors and the kings, and I mean, even today, that's what PR, right, public relations, that's what all these propaganda outfits are all about, telling the story in the way that they want someone to be a victor, right? We all want someone to win, but when we're not honest with each other, no one wins. And that's why this idea of the history, my mind has become blown, brothers and sisters, when I started looking into American history a little bit closer, into things, trying to actually get more details of what was really brushed over quite a bit in school. The history of America is pretty damn disgusting. I'm sure the rest of the world has its own nightmares and stories too, but the experimentation the government's been doing on the populations through the militaries and the climate change, and just holy cows. what helps me come to term with what helps me find peace and come to term. I lost that comment about the history. Um, there's one author. There's one true author of the truth. There's one author of the absolute truth. And this is the game we're all a part of. We're a part of the creator's absolute truth. We are living evidence of the creator. Not egotistically, but I think I'm pretty divinely created, man. And that means you are too. We are all pretty divine and magical, pretty mystical creatures, to be honest. I think we've lost sight of how special human beings really are because there's just so many of us. And then being one of them, all you see is a bunch of other human beings with a dime a dozen. Send a few of them off to war. We need to make space, right? Need a clean house. That's how some people think. Hey, brothers and sisters, sincerely, I do appreciate everyone joining in. I'm kind of just flowing for a little bit today. I will drop the link in a little bit. And for those who may be joining over on Facebook or Rumble again, I think I'm figuring it out. On Rumble, I think I'm streaming under How to Live Without Fear, but I think it's tied to my name too. So I don't know. I'm figuring it out. Back to the purpose. Tips and encouragement for life. Sorry, bunch of notes. And before I jump into more lessons, I mean, part of what I'm sharing today has come. It's I've been blessed to participate in some different experiences since the stream yesterday, mostly online, but it's allowed me new inspirations, right? So for those who have been paying attention to the Talcottian drama with the YouTube screeds and what's going on there, it's been interesting, you know. I have been consciously, overtly, trying taking steps to try and improve the energy of these streams that I'm doing here, right? And that includes the guests that join. So I've been making some adjustments there, but I got to admit, last night I ended up on a panel of all people with Snafu Snaps. And Paul Unslaved was there last night as well, and we actually had some decent conversations again, and it was fun and enjoyable. So hell, I'll even promote if Snafu still got his. If he left the stream up, I invite you to check it out. See what you think if you're interested in that thing. But then the point is I went from that interaction to this morning. I participated in a free web event. I mentioned it on the stream last night, put on by Somananda and from the School of Tantra. The Without going into the details, my point is at this time we're living, if you look for it, there is so much wisdom being shared generously, often freely. Now, it's not always delivered perfectly, right? Some of the information it's a little clumsy, like maybe what I do. I realize I could clean up what I'm offering. I've been weighing my value regarding quantity or quality. I'm always trying to improve the quality, but I have become kind of consistent in the quantity at least. So, hey, welcome, Lumitami. Knock knock, Jack. Who's there? Why would you want to destroy my effing channel? I don't understand that. Sincerely, Arpol, thank you. Welcome. Oh, you want the link? I missed that. That now it makes sense. Don't let Jack backstage. Tell you what, I got a whole page of notes to go through for today, but for those who are interested in, you know what, Tom? Tell you what, swing back maybe if you don't want to pay attention, unless it's a time critical thing, because I'm gonna flow with this. That way, folks can get some value, and then we can just chill out and have some conversations. But the reason I brought up the earlier events is that's what I had. I had the opportunity to do the topic was, what if God was one of us? So in the morning, I started with the esoteric, kind of mystical, spiritual aspect on the world. And then later, there's a man named John Assaraf. I think I'm saying that correctly. I'm going to bring him up. This guy. He it has been a part of my story. He shares today was a thing called a brainathon. And he has a bunch of speakers come in who really understand how to rewrite your patterns of belief, and he gets into a lot of the science behind neuroplasticity and such. um, Several years ago, he was doing the similar thing to what I was attending today, and admittedly it was an incredible catalyst for my own personal development, my own personal inspiration and transformation. So I'm being long-winded, but the morning I started out with some esoteric mystical views on the world, and then the John Assaraf is more practical applications, right? You're taking the actions in the business, having the mindset of success and clarity in your goals and your purpose. And all of these things come in. We can all grow in ourselves if we allow ourselves. When we choose to, we can really transform what we know. All it takes is the belief. It's the power of mind. So, some of the things I picked up, some reminders that I wanted to share. You know, one of the definitions I heard others talk about, definition of success. It's a progression towards a chosen ideal. Success. It's a progression towards a chosen ideal. To have success, you've really got to have a goal. You've got to have a direction. If you don't have a direction, you may not even recognize success if you've achieved it. You may achieve something that others have been trying to do and you didn't even realize it, but it wasn't your path, it wasn't your purpose, so you think nothing of it. See, success. We all want within us, when we're young, we all want to grow up and be successful. We all want to be happy and healthy. We all grow up with these ideas of what we can become, but the world, through the conditioning and the entertainment and the distractions and the temptations, the devilish ways, they lead us astray. And then we lose sight of what success might mean. So if that's you, what I offer, success in the world, it's sharing your light and your value, and tied into the other in the direction, in the way that you feel, that you want, pursuing the greater ideal, a chosen ideal, greater to you. And then one of the lines I wrote down, just a great reminder from that class. When you are looking at your life and you're looking at your options of what might be, what might not be in your future, really look into yourself and weigh through self-awareness, self-evaluation with honesty. Weigh yourself. Are these ideas of what you want in the future, are you just interested in that, or are you committed to that? Because there's a big difference than being interested in having a healthy relationship or being interested in having a successful business. It's a big difference between just being interested in the idea and really being committed. Because if you're committed to a healthy relationship, if you're committed to a growing your business, if you're committed to growing a healthier, greater version of you, if you're committed, nothing can stop you. That's the point. We are here literally in our own create your own adventure. It's called life. Every day, every moment of the day, you get to choose what you're going to do, but you may not realize where your choices are coming from. I know I didn't in the past. It sounds silly and it sounds foolish, but I'm offering my honest admissions of my past confusion for the hopes that, if you can understand and see yourself with my mistakes, it's an opportunity for you to do some self-correction as well. Because this world drastically improves when we align ourselves with that which is true. Because that which is true, that's noble, that's pure, that's divine. That which is true is from God. One of the things tried explaining yesterday, I did poorly, was I felt I did poorly. In this world we live in, it's divided, and yet there's no separation. This is God's realm. Yet there's an oppositional force that opposes the purpose of life and unity. And that oppositional force, mankind is given it the idea of Satan or Lucifer or whatever you want to call it, the devil. It's the oppositional force that has, well, that's running the world. It really, really is. The oppositional force has been running the world, meaning the darkness has been given by free will of mankind. We have lost our ways. So, in your own personal life, if you can find a goal, find something you want to contribute and to bring into the world, do yourself a favor, do your future self a favor, do the future world a favor. If you've got ideas for you, get clarity, write them out, and then don't find reasons why you cannot achieve the goals. Find ways that you can, and recognize any goal you achieve, it may require, hopefully, if your goal doesn't require you to learn some things and to actually grow into a greater person, if your goal doesn't include you growing and learning, it's just a pipe dream. Okay, or it's really something that's you're just entertaining yourself with for, yeah, for entertainment. If we can all, I encourage, we all do, we all have the opportunity. And today, the purpose of this live stream, sharing tips and encouragement, I want to encourage you, right, to simply start taking responsibility for you and your future, and realize there is a goal, there's a treasure within you. It was planted there from the divine, and it's waiting to come forth. It's your purpose. It's your calling. It's your gift. If you haven't discovered that and you're interested in some support, feel free to reach out to me. Okay. If you don't want to do it online, which is, I'd prefer to do it privately, honestly. If I'm going to work with someone, actually, I'd prefer to do it in a private, safe setting. But if you have interest in that, the Linktree link is in the description of the video, and feel free to reach out. Um, I wrote this down too. This quote was brilliant. Your lifestyle will never go where the mind doesn't go. If you can't allow your mind to go and spend time visioning yourself as success, as wealth, as abundant, as health, as whatever it is, If you can't even allow your mind to imagine that, how do you think your heart is ever going to experience it? Because your heart is always present. It's the mind that travels and carries us. So keep in mind, your lifestyle will never go where the mind doesn't go. So pay attention to where your mind is going. Where the mind goes and attention goes, energy flows. That was another reminder. We truly do become the patterns of our thoughts. So the patterns of our thoughts are going to create who we are. The key to your life, to my life, was in my mind, is in my mind. I know that the key to my success, the key to my happiness, the key to my everything, it's in my mind. It's a gift that God has given us all. We all possess this masterful, incredible gift of consciousness. But it's not even mentioned really in our schools. No, no meditation, no teaching children how to understand their body, like what is the body doing and saying. Maybe I just missed out on that. I don't know. I don't know. So here, just a couple of more notes, and then I'm going to open this up. So, are you interested or are you committed to the goals in your life? And if you haven't found goals, I'm telling you, you'll thank yourself later for finding some. When you find some goals and you start working towards them, and then you start finding those feelings of fulfillment and joy, confidence restoring, and then depending on the goal, your life can start really transforming. And you can reinvent yourself in ways you've never tried if you want. Our lifestyle will never go where the mind. Oh, not only goals. Are you interested or are you committed to life? Are you interested or are you committed to love? Pay attention to those things. When you find those things and when you find them, see where you're at. Only you can decide. There was a scripture that was reminded me, I was reminded of earlier. Uh, For whoever finds me finds life and favor from the Lord. Proverbs 8:35. And I didn't bring it up, but for me, again, the Lord and God for me in my perspective. The ultimate God is that which reveals the absolute truth, the objective truth, the truth that is without distortion and without manipulation. To know the Creator, I worship the truth. I pay attention. And when we find the truth, when we grow in wisdom, well, that's when we find favor with the Lord. And what is the Lord? The Lord is the reality we're living in. What is real, that's actually what really controls us, that which is real. Um, so as we grow in our wisdom and we align ourselves with that which is true, the world and the Lord actually works with us. I'm pretty sure this is the design of God's game. It's much more simple than our egoic minds wants to accept. But trial and error have brought me to these words and these points, right? What I've been practicing to sum it all up real simply. Oh, let me not jump ahead. The reason I brought these up, for whoever finds me finds life and favor from the Lord. Finding the life means seeking, asking, finding the wisdom. And the wisdom I encourage you to seek to know the wisdom of the Christ, the wisdom that Jesus knew. Can you hold that knowledge of his knowing within you? Can you seek and ask and find the wisdom that will that will carry you through, that will transform you. Because another reminder, all of the abundance God has designed for our life, it's all dependent upon us having the wisdom. The world is bountiful. The world is abundant. We actually get overwhelmed by choices. And that's why people have learned how to live small, because the world is overwhelming in what is possible. But hey, I'm going to go ahead. I think I got through most of it. Hopefully, some of this stuff is making sense for somebody, for people. I'm going to drop the link there and see if I can get this going here to Rumble as well. Should folks over there wish to join? Thank you for joining over there, by the way. What's going on? And then welcome, Illumitami. Come on up, my friend. How are you, brother?
Jack, I know all the tactics people use to try and explain why I'm so kickable and backstageable, so I'm gonna stay nice and calm. I'm not gonna cuss you out. Because you're gonna play yourself up. Like overnight, hashtag PayJack has been my biggest viewed, biggest liked video where I promoted that you deserve to be paid back for how you were exploited on Talstock. And then the way that trips you up is in that stream, we see that you abandon it. And when you've spent day after day telling me you don't have an online daddy, you're over with Snafu and Paul, just yucking it up like you always have. And I haven't even finished your Payjack stream. Now, this morning, you're back here. You were over there with Brian O'Shea and Paul, letting them explain to a black man why they're righteous for their race baiting panels. And like now you're just sitting here on your panel as usual, speaking antichrist rhetoric. It is
Which
not the
part?
self. It
Which
is
part of
not the self.
Antichrist?
It is not you who saves yourself. It is by
Right.
grace
Yes.
alone.
Okay. No disagreement. It is
And
by
this
God's grace.
tantra, this holistic tantra stuff you're talking, that's promoted by ladies who need paid for their time. And we
Hey,
know
Tom,
you love your massages.
you there's a lot of misunderstanding of
No, there's no I'm very clear. The
what
clarity is
Tantra
100
is.
right now.
There's a lot of misunderstanding, and I'm
With
growing to
you,
look
you
at it as well.
misunderstand, yeah.
It's not sexual, not in what we were covering today. It was actual.
Tantric is completely about the orgasm.
Tell you what, Tom, look into the parts that it is not, and you'll see
I
what I'm
used
talking
to rescue prostitutes,
about. Fine,
Jack. Do you think I don't know? And I know you frequent prostitutes. It's why you're broke now. You've been on here for a year since you sold your house talking about, I had a massage yesterday. It was so blissful. I know that shit. Half of them that pass through Denver come from Washington State. You're a fucking freak, Jack. And I don't mean duh freak. He's a Christian. Thank you, Lizard Tree. I will.
this this is who it was.
Yeah, that's not God. That's not Jesus.
No, it's just
Yeah, you're
course.
looking outward. Find me biblically where Tantra is the way to go.
That's not what I'm suggesting.
It's what
And
I'm suggesting. Find me biblical. Finally, find me biblically where Tantra is what's going to save you, Jack. Find where that guy
why?
you just shared earlier, find where that white
Tom,
dude you just shared earlier is anything more than what Jesus can offer you.
I think you finally
Tom.
found your calling.
Go fuck yourself, Moose. You're a little piece of shit.
Wow, Tom, do you hear your hostility?
He gave your channel to your daddy for his birthday and he's never changed.
That was a long time ago, dude.
No, it wasn't. It was like a year ago. That's not
That's
a
a
long
long
time ago.
time.
You'll find a year is very short when you're on the street.
Nah, well, maybe. Yeah, I'm sure. But a year is a long time,
No,
Tom.
it's not. Not even at your age. They should be flying by. And
So
Moose,
hold
you come
on,
see me
Tom.
in my house. You
Okay,
come see me in my house, Moose.
all
I'll
right.
put it to you, and you know it.
Well, Tom, we can. You're right.
You
A
are a
year is a
fool,
short
Jack.
time. It's a long time to carry shit that doesn't help.
I'm not here to debate about the space time continuum, Jack. You're a POS, and I'm
I
tired of
know.
trying to convince you of that. Knock,
I know.
knock.
Please stop trying to convince me that I'm
Knock,
a
knock.
POS. We'll get along better. Who's there?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
I'm gonna destroy your fucking channel.
I
What
love you
an
too, Tom.
angry and confused individual. Praise God.
He's got such a good heart, but his mind is confused. I can understand why, though. Um, this world we live in, it offers a lot of a lot of confusion. I didn't drop Moose like that, but I'm assuming. Hey, Cat, confused by all this. I understand some of the chaos on the stream. It's just people. We're people who feel they have a closeness to me, but they don't realize that they're not really helping support. So, Kat, I know why you're here, and I appreciate and I honor. Um, you are searching for help with true sadness and despair. Thing is, it's right within you. Every one of us. It's hard to accept and hard to imagine until you find the truth that is in these words. Everything, everything we seek, it comes from within. The desire comes from within. The ideas come from within. And then the importance, the relevance, we determine all of these things of what we think we want, what we think we need. And most of the time, what we think we want and what we think we need, it's already there. Maybe in a different way, in a different version. Let me offer an example. In my past, when I was drinking, I felt a complete absence of love. I really did. Logically, it makes no sense because every other weekend I got to spend time with my son. And, and so the weekends I didn't have my son, I got to be a free man, right? Single dude. And, and I had friends, I had family, I had coworkers, I had love all around me, yet I felt none. I felt such despair. I couldn't find gratitude or any reasons to continue. Many days, it was just, why? Why do I have to keep surviving? And then I got sick of being sick. I got tired of being tired. I got fed up of being fed up and angry. I got so disgusted with myself, I would no longer accept what I'd been putting up with. That's the key. If you're dealing with depression and you're dealing with sadness and anxiety, how long do you want to? The world we live in, it's unfortunate but true. I noticed it when I was younger. I called it um the Oprah Winfrey patterns, right? The Jerry Springer, Oprah Winfrey, all of these shows that were so popular, they were bringing up and publicizing just absolute dysfunction and really making heroes out of people who were carrying the victim badge as a thing of honor. And there is reasons to do that. When you overcome something, we go through times. We go through times in our world and in our lives where we are victims of circumstances, victims of who knows, whatever, opinions, judgment, wrongful misunderstandings. How we deal with those things, that's what shows our character. That's what shows our strength. Well, where my mind was going, just like, I mean, it's propaganda. This world we live in is so overtly corrupted and confused and diseased. And I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, once you open your eyes and you see, you can't unsee it. You can't unsee the truth. You can't ignore the truth, though. And that's what people have been doing. People have been ignoring the truth about their own power that's within them, that they are able to break patterns of themselves. They are able to overcome, well, we can overcome a lot, especially when we work together. The powers of our minds and our hearts together, when we unite those energies with the power of others, joining together with true faith and prayer and like conscious intentions of restoration. This is what prayer is about, is when we join together, joining our minds and our hearts individually, and then through another person who has joined their mind and heart together, and you get those things coming together more. Those powers between us in prayer and fellowship, relationships, that's where God is. I mean, alone we are very, very insignificant. Alone we are very, very, you know, whatever. We can only do so much alone. But when people unite truthfully, honestly, truthfully, with their hearts, with a combined purpose, when the people unite, there's harmony. And with that harmony, there's a synergy. We are all energetic beings. We're just experiencing form, physical form, for a short time. I mean, in time, it's mostly in our minds. Time is just change. Change is what we notice. Change comes through comparisons, as do patterns. See, this is how we're designed. Our bodies are so incredible. The minds we've been gifted, they're like these incredible information database machines, right? You put stuff in and then it kind of combines and you can let stuff go and then just grow and grow and grow. That's wisdom. Wisdom is a gift from God, our God. We're so foolish, right? We all come from the same dirt and soil, breathe the same air. Which God you talking about? Well, the one God that allows us to know this moment right here. Breath of life that's still so rhythmic, so reliable. That breath of life that sustains us all. What a gift, right? The greatest tip and encouragement I want to offer anyone who tunes in regarding the topic of the stream, sharing tips and encouragement for life. The greatest one I want to offer is have faith in God. Have faith in God and um, have confidence in you. Oops, where am I going? I forgot on the thumbnail, right? The simple reminder, appreciate what you have today. You may not have it tomorrow. And if you really think about that, if you can humble yourself to lizard tree, that could be true. Could be Tommy was slighted that I didn't join his show. I did try to join the chat and stuff, but it was a long stream. He went on a long time. Hey, you know, Talcott School of Massage, that may come forth one day as well, but that's certainly not something I'm gonna do on my own. You know, if we get others involved and we collectively agree, hey, it's time for a school of massage, that's what we'll do. But my first goal, my first hope, well, is to plant the ideas for you, whoever you may be, that there is each day. Each day brings us moments. It's only moments that we're awake through the day, and each day brings those moments for us to find and share our appreciation, our gratitude, our joy. Where? With the world around us. I mean, isn't that a pretty cool gift to be able to share those good things with the world around us? My other reminders: time passes quickly and unceasingly. So enjoy what you can while you can. And with that, welcome, my dear brother, London. How you doing today, my friend?
How you doing, Mr. Talcott? I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. 420 if you got that. Right.
Hey, praise be.
Yeah, salute. Just heads up, I'm streaming you from the bottle bar, right?
Blessings. Thank you and please. Please and thank you. I appreciate it. I'm
Yes,
not
sir.
sure how long we'll run today. I'm kind of just flowing. That was actually one of my inspirations earlier, too.
Well, that's good. I mean, to be honest, Jack, I only popped up just to tell you, I love you. I bet no one told you that today, right? I'm pretty sure of it. No one told you they love you today. So I'll go ahead and say it first, I love you, Jack.
Thank you,
I
London.
know there's a lot of people out there, they got it in for you, but I ain't got no problems with you. I don't think I'll ever will have. So I'll just put that out there now. I love you, Jack. You're my brother. Right. And with that being said, I'll let you carry on with the show.
Hey,
My
respect to you, my brother, London. Thank you.
peace out.
Absolutely. Um, Golly geez, man. See, that's what I mean. How hard, London, hats off to you. An example, a teaching example for others, which is what I've been saying we are. You know, how much does it take just to pop in and tell someone, hey, you're loved, especially when it's honest? And I know there is a lot of people that had they had the opportunity, I trust many would say, hey, Jack, I love you, man. I do trust that. I really do. Because this life is a crazy adventure. And one thing I've been learning, brothers and sisters, is we really don't have a choice to give up. I mean, you can give up. You can give up entirely, and there's ways to get out. But I encourage anyone who's thinking that, I think it's 988 is a line that's pretty available for those who are having suicidal thoughts. Those are temporary conditions. And that's what for anyone who's dealing with darkness and despair and a little bit of hopelessness, you've got to humble yourself to the truth and realize that is temporary. Thoughts come and go, feelings come and go, situations change, miracles happen. Miracles of healing happen, miracles of business and opportunity happen, miracles of relationships happen. Miracles happen. For those who have, right, holding that miracle, that newborn life in your hands of your own, you know that miracle. But when they start getting a little older and back talking and doing stupid things right in front of you, you kind of lose sight of the miracle that they all are. But one of the things I realized for myself, one of the things I realized for myself is there is a miraculous quality to me as well. Someone else said it. Um, hey, thank you for that, Lizard Tree. 988 for those who are struggling and just need someone to speak to. That's an option, and I'm easily reached as well. I'm not a professional, but I do care. And the that was a comment. Okay, so I suspect this is true for many people, especially in varying degrees. There's some people that it is a true miracle that they're walking and breathing today. There's a reason. There's a reason for that. And a lot of times when we get rocked and we realize, no, I shouldn't be here, it can make us a little shaky. We can feel the fear and we can allow ourselves to carry the memory, the imprint of the pain, and just keep repeating the pain and the suffering. That's creating trauma. So recognize that all things happen, and it probably is a miracle that all of us are alive today. It is by the grace of God. Right, Tom? By the grace of God. Welcome back, brother.
Don't take my words. That is the truth and the light, and you don't speak that.
No,
Now, Brit, one of my biggest fans, Brit's in the chat. She just had dinner with a UN person. What's your excuse?
I thought I saw something like that. Who timed her
Yeah,
out?
when have you ever done anything more than Paul and Slave does, which is sit on your ass on a microphone?
Tommy, that's offensive.
You're offensive, and you're blinded to the truth. Your heart's hardened to it.
That's
And
not
to freak, you're not judging if you can't clearly see. Like, I'm not judging Jack when I take the word of God and see that he's not that. And you guys can talk about my demeanor, talk about my bad words, because there is no perfect Christian. But Jack's not a Christian.
what am I?
A heretic, someone under a strong delusion.
What if I'm not?
I know you are. I've tried to tell you for a year and a half.
Well, I know you keep repeating, but I'm
No,
suggesting
you repeat, I answer. I've had an answer to everything you say, and that's why you kick me. That's why you avoid me.
oh,
You say, I'm focused on
no,
confusion. I don't
no,
understand Jack
right,
Talcott.
right, Tom, because you think you've got the answers. You're not bringing
No,
God.
God, no, that's you.
You're
That's
acting
you,
as though
Jack.
you
God
know.
has the answers. The
Tom,
Bible has
Tom,
the
Tom,
answers.
Tom, stop
You are
separating.
hardened to the truth.
Tom, stop separating yourself from God.
I
You,
am separate from God. I can never be God. You can't. You can
Tom,
never conceive of what God is.
Tom,
That's biblical.
Tom.
Jack,
You
don't
don't seem to
repeat
be.
my name.
You don't seem to be trying to listen. So how do I get
I
you to?
already have heard everything you're selling, and I say it's garbage. Just
Okay, so
like your
should you leave?
daddy.
So you should leave then.
Kick me.
All right. See you later, buddy. Appreciate you. Holy cows. Hey, yes, this is what I'm trying to offer. Yes, Sterling, God source. It's not only within, it is all that is. Okay. And so in some aspects I agree with Tom. But we can't look at what I agree with Tom is that our God, our creator, is so vast, so incredible. It may not actually be known intimately. I mean, how do you describe something such as what could have created the space-time paradox? What could have created the phenomenon of consciousness? This is just amazing. So, to some degree, certainly there is a greater source beyond the limits of our individual mind. That's part of the game. We get to learn, we get to know. There is the one God. I believe Jesus called it the Father. And it's been described in many different ways through many different people because, well, it's so divine that. So So the Father, the God that of all that is, it is always here, always present. Wherever God is, the power, the wholeness of God is. It's not like us where we're limited in our attention, where we can only pay attention to, multitask a couple of things. Well, that's not the creator, but I lost my point. The point I was getting at, yeah, God is within. And we are a small version, an image of, perhaps, the mind of God. Because what really shows a man or woman, what shows us who we are, is our patterns of thought. Our patterns of thought are going to create our behavior. Our behavior is going to be what we share with each other, our personality. It all comes down to the mind. So within the mind, we can easily believe in foolish things. Um, the the Bible talks about thou shalt have no false idols, right? Well, many people look at themselves as the supreme God. They are the one who does everything, and if they didn't do everything, well, then nothing would get done. That's what some people are telling themselves. I've literally worked for bosses. I worked for bosses who literally said those things. That if it wasn't for the boss, none of the mail would get out. It's like, clown. we get we get the job done despite the bosses, or more like in spite of the bosses. The workers still get the jobs done. Man, human beings are so amazing, but the way we've been confused in this world through this economic system, the political system, it's got everyone everyone's confused. They've lost sight of what it really means to be a man, to be a woman. People have lost sight of how to be. Just as simple as that. You want to improve your life? Set a simple goal. Learn how to be. Things that seem simple can often turn very complex. And yet, once you understand the complex, everything becomes simple. This is the gift of our minds, brothers and sisters, our God, our loving God, the God that brings forth the sun, the moon, the stars, the oceans, the rivers, and all the life that everything else brings forth with that. The love from that God is abundant. It's clear. There's so much evidence of God's love for mankind, for us. And that includes you and me. And if that's true, well, that's what Jesus was talking about. And here's another thought to consider. It's real easy to love those who you know love you. How often do you think about how much God may love you? I mean, after all, it created all of space and time for you to be here and now. I was thinking this earlier, the fairy tales, the stories, whatever, about crossing the veil and going to the pearly gates, so to say. I could see a post-life after action review, right? Get the old AAR briefing together, the rep report together. Um, and I can see having a conversation with the creator. Hey Jack, how'd you enjoy everything I gave to you? How'd you enjoy that world that was created for you? What'd you think of that? Oh, you missed out on some of the good? That's all right, Jack. It's really easy to do that. Don't worry. I'll make another time. We'll find another time for you to return. You can go back to Earth and see how much goodness you can find this time. Oh yeah, Jack, all that stuff you received, what'd you end up doing with all that? Did you use it just for yourself or did you share it around? Did you take advantage of the opportunities that came forth? I honestly feel like I have, at least for the past several years. The majority of my life I wasted. I carried around so much shame. Actually, I observed this myself in an earlier conversation today with Paul. You know, I receive a lot of in my path, right? Not just the spiritual path, but studying the criminality of our government and corporate systems. In studying that, I've discovered a lot of people who are teaching this stuff, very well informed on the history and how all the manipulations have been manufactured through contracts and oaths and all these, loopholes and agreements. Anyway, many people I encounter are fixed that the solution is to break apart, to go create a new system, to that way you got a physical proof and you can show, see, look over here, this works. There's been so many organizations, so many groups, so many small communities doing just that, trying to find the way to give the example in a small way in a world that is very huge. And I can only imagine the mindset of the people trying to do that. And I know of many. I mean, I just haven't talked to them directly about their personal experiences. I can imagine the frustration. I have a different mindset. See, I don't believe breaking away is the answer. Not for me. Not for me. I played along with the rules for too long. I'm guilty. I raised my hand. I put on a uniform. They issued me the weapons, and praise God, God kept me safe, and I harmed none in my service, um, thankfully. But I'm guilty. I'm guilty of accepting the mindset that says I would be willing to go hurt others for someone else's damn cause. And then not to mention all the taxes I paid and all the stress I had in my life over money and the budgets and all this crap, trying to make sure all my my forms were filled out and timely and completed according to someone else's rules and standards. I'm guilty. I played along with that crap for a long time. I don't want others to suffer like I did, and I had it easy. I think this is my act of repentance, and I'm seeking support from you, whoever you are, today or in the future. I'd like to try and find a way. Let's unite and find a way together. Can't be just me. I'm not foolish enough to think that. But I know that together we get the right people together, we'll brainstorm ideas, and through this connection and then that connection. And then they know that person and they know that person, and we can get something together very quickly. It can emerge very quickly. Power of God, I trust it is with us. It's just a matter of timing and a matter of will and a matter of the right ideas to come forth. I've pondered these ideas, but I've never presented it this way before, so each day is new. And what I'm suggesting is that if we unite and we come together, we can confront the systems, the beast systems of rule, right? This world of commerce turning everything and everyone into commercial or banking assets, liabilities. This is nonsense. Mankind can grow up and we can start learning how to work together. We can start learning how to live together without policing and enforcement and government agencies and corporations spying on every citizen. We can do better than this. I believe God's children deserve better than this. I believe God's children would not tolerate this. They would not accept this for much longer. When have we learned enough, right? When have we learned enough in our life? And what are we going to do with what we've learned? Another life lesson I was reminded of today in the beautiful talk by John Assaraf in the Brainathon. One of the things when looking at your life is sincerely consider. You must evaluate. No, you must not do anything, but I encourage you, if you want a life of fulfillment and start moving towards the life of your dreams, what you'll do is you will really evaluate your life honestly. Only you can be honest about you, and only you know you intimately. So become honest about your life, and then look forward with your mind's eye. Memories of the past, project ahead in the future. What pain will emerge if you fail to act? Inaction brings us pain. Inaction brings us suffering. Just as taking a step in the wrong direction brings us suffering, refusing to move, refusing to act brings us suffering. And I tell you what, life is short. Life is short. Appreciate what you have today. You may not have it tomorrow. We don't control the future. There is a creator of the truth that is greater than us that will reveal God's law. That was the thought I had the other day. In this world of legalese, all this commercial and maritime law, whatever, all of this nonsense. Man's laws require interpretation and judgment. God's laws are that which is revealed. God's laws are that which is true. That which is true is that which is real. And if you're not saying things that are real, you're serving the Lord of lies. And the Lord of lies spreads confusion. And confusion and hate, those bring up fears, and those create enemies. And the next thing you know, the angels are at war with each other again. I live for peace, okay? That is my purpose. Veterans for Peace. There it goes. Veterans for Peace. That is my purpose. Not the organization, the ideal. The ideal that peace may be here on earth, and it starts with us. You and me. We're a part of this. We get to play the role we want in the future, and I want you to believe that a future you want is possible. Can you believe that the future you want is possible for you to experience? If you don't, never will. So at least allow yourself to believe. Believe in the things that, only God could provide. Show some faith, have some trust, feel good about who you are and where you are. If you have to do it for yourself, remind yourself, congratulations, I survived. A little beat up, a little sore, some challenges maybe for the future, but I survived. And you remind yourself of that. Survivors. You come from a long list of survivors. Survivors, our ancestors survived. They survived the wars. They survived the climates. They survived all sorts of crazy stuff. They survived so that we could live. We are survivors. And another thing I was reminded of, just an obvious, simple truth: winners don't quit. Quitters don't win. We don't really have an option to quit. So what I've been learning how to do is surrender. Surrender is a different action. It's a similar result to quitting, but surrender is a different method in your heart. You're not sacrificing your opportunity to win. You're surrendering to the moment, surrendering to the circumstance, surrendering to the facts, surrendering perhaps to God's love. Have you ever tried to surrender to God's love? It's subtle, but it is so powerful. So the idea of surrender can appear frightening, but here's what you get to remember. Your fear comes from your ego. Your spirit isn't scared. You've got the Spirit of Christ within you. It's with you. That contains the will of God. It's a matter of us being able to understand that which we have. What life is about is truly learning to understand that which you have. That which you have is in your mind, it's in your heart, it is in your being. Beyond that, everything else is just temporary, right? The real thing that matters of who you are is your spirit. Life is lived not in the physical form as much as it is in the spirit. The spirit of life is what moves us, whether you accept, whether you recognize it or not, whether you see it or not, whether you pay attention to it or not. It is the spirit of life that moves us. The spirit is not physical. It's the essence. It is the true nature. And what is the essence and the true nature of a man or a woman? It's their wisdom. It's their desires. It's their mind and their heart. Those two things together create you. Those two things together create me, the mind and the heart, the concepts of those things, the activity of intelligence. Well, in the activity of intelligence, there are different levels of communicating within ourselves and different ways of knowing. The heart has a knowing and it knows through love, but the heart knows. The mind uses language and it processes and interprets the feelings from the heart, the feelings from the body. The mind processes and interprets the truth that is revealed and shown, and it's all interpreted through words. So sincerely, brothers and sisters, I've been paying attention and really learning and growing in my respect for the power of words. Words are so critically important. Pay attention to the words that come from you, especially. There's plenty of words in the Bible that support this, and I keep learning and growing and learning of more examples of this. But in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Words control us. Words create our thoughts, and the thoughts create our feelings and our emotions and everything. So the words we share with each other and inside of ourselves, they're important. Don't dismiss the words you say. Don't dismiss the words others say. Pay attention and discern. Try to figure out. It's a simple game, really. Life is a simpler game than what this monopoly and politics has created. The simple game of life is to grow in your wisdom, to um, to share your light and your value with the world. That's the simple goal. So the best way to grow and to share your light and your wisdom with the world, you've got to grow that within you. And you grow your wisdom and your talent through learning, through experience. There's many teachers that are out there in the world. Other people have answers that maybe we haven't learned. And just because your immediate group, the immediate people you've met may not know the answers. There's a lot of people in this world, and you just got to ask. You got to seek. The path to wisdom is found through seeking. See, this is what I mean. God's truth is so amazing. Here, I was stumbling through this earlier. This might help. It came from Proverbs 8:35. For whoever finds me finds life and obtains favor from the Lord. Or, for those who find me find life and receive favor from the Lord. And then it was it that one? All of the abundance God has designed for our life is dependent on us having wisdom. Wisdom, brothers and sisters. Wisdom is the unseen power that a corrupted world doesn't pay attention to. Hello. I'm one of many people. I'm just sharing a message in my own way that is different than it's similar and different to others. But the lack of wisdom, the lack of respect in this world for wisdom is what has resulted in innocent people being persecuted, being put away in prisons, people speaking up for the truth, and then confused minds don't actually try to understand. The egoic victim perpetrator jumps in. I talked about that the other day. The patterns of confusion that mankind has picked up. The egoic patterns are victim and perpetrator. It goes back and forth, constantly fighting, trying to control another, trying to whatever. We can break free of all of this when we recognize the truth. And the truth is spirit. Spirit is beyond the form. The spirit is united. The spirit is whole. You, me, we all humans, what we are, we all have the opportunity. We can focus on living in the human form where we're fragile and it's full of pain and it's full of fear and it's an amazing costume God has given us. It's part of our character suit that we get to wear. The body is. But if you know that you are the spirit and you are one with the creation and the creator, all you've got to do is focus on the here and now. The here and now is all that there is. Oh, I love that question, Kat. What is the pain trying to teach you? It's trying to teach you to put it down. It's trying to teach you to let it go. Stop touching the stove. Stop retrieving the painful memories. Stop digging at the pains and the wounds of the past. Change your focus. That's what I trust your pain is trying to tell you. And it seems impossible. It seems insensitive. No, you can't understand. I know. This is what I'm talking about, in one of these streams, I've been considering, and I kind of touched on it a little bit the other day about how we can all toughen up. It's incumbent upon us to toughen up sometimes. Nobody else can do it. Nobody else can toughen us up but ourselves. Now, the world will try to show you your weaknesses. The world may try to, they fight against you toughening up. Don't give up. Learn how to flow. This is what I'm proud of within myself. Okay? Thank you. I don't fully understand, and again, I got no offense. I've offered conversations, and I know conversations, they can be very helpful. If something is happening to you now, then that is a clear indicator you've got some choices to make, my friend. Okay? And if something is happening now and you've got choices to make and you've been putting off making those choices, then you got to accept responsibility for your part. Okay. And I trust you're safe. That was my next question, but I trust you're safe. And regardless, please set in your intentions and let's find a time for us to talk. Okay. And maybe I can offer some support with your choices, and we'll see what God might allow, right? We never know what we can do though until the opportunity to try actually happens. And this is what I see a lot in this world, and I used to be guilty of it myself. There's a big difference between talk and action. If you want something to be done, it's up to us. We've got to create the opportunity to get it done. We got to find the time, create the schedule, make the intention and commit. If we want to get something done, we must commit. No one can take control of our lives except ourselves. So, life gives us choices. It's not always just sunshine and lollipops. Sure, we get plenty of rainbows, but those come after the storms. And in this life, it is a blessing. It's hard to realize the blessing that life is when it feels painful, when it feels, um, when it feels like you're alone, when it feels like the world is against you. Those things happen, but we are here to grow in our faith. And I encourage you, if you want to live a better life, start number one, look at yourself. You are responsible for you. Consider the pain of inaction. What is the future going to be if I don't change, if I don't take control, if I don't do something different? What is the future going to look like? And let's keep in mind, often the future brings wild cards, different things can happen and things were not planned for. So we've got to do, you know what? Everyone is different. Everyone is different. All of us have the opportunity in our lives to become mindful, right? To prepare ourselves and those around us for what the future might bring. It's easy in this world that profits from fear, right? Wars and oppression, all of that is real. The world profits from fear, so it's real easy to get caught up on always preparing to fail, right? To cushion the failure. The best way to cushion your failure is to shoot big and go big. Succeed. Become something greater than you. Become something greater than you thought you might have. What I'm suggesting is it's time for us to flip the script. Because I know when we were all young, I trust, maybe there's exceptions, but I trust the majority of us when we were young, we had these ideas of making a better world, of becoming successful, of actually accomplishing some things. Well, guess what? Life is short. It's passing us by very quickly. And I think I've covered what I wanted to cover. I got through most of my notes today. The only other observation I missed, there's the Lord and the creator of the absolute truth. You are the Lord, little l, little c. You are the Lord and creator of your own subjective truth. So choose your subjective truth carefully. Find the truth that you want, right? That is true. And as long as it's true, stay true. Align yourself with the objective truth. But the objective truth of this world, part of the consideration should be impermanence. Everything is temporary. Okay, and that includes a perspective of truth that it may change, and what may be right for today may not be right for tomorrow. Circumstances change, but we must always honor that which is true, because that which is true is that which is real, and that which is real is God. Praise God. Praise God for this day, that God allowed us to know of this day in April. Saturday afternoon, I think it is. Hey, I do feel whole and complete. So, unless there's actually any specific questions, interests, I think I may wrap it up. I think that feels right. Brothers and sisters, sincerely, all of you who joined today here with the live stream, popped on the panel, who may tune in at a later date, sincerely thank you. I appreciate you. For those joining me on Facebook or Rumble, appreciate that as well. Stay tuned. We're going to see what the future brings. And please, I am trying to grow in influence and achievements. I'd love to bring others with me. I'd love for many of us to rise together and to create a world, a better world for the future, a world where the truth is loved and where we honor the truth and honor love with each other. It's really more simple when we just flow. Maybe I'll get into flow tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see what the the topic of flow tomorrow, but we'll see what the future reveals. Please do the subscription thing, the share thing. Tell someone else about what's going on here. Ask them to check it out, see what they think. And oh yeah, do the notification thing. We'll see what the future brings. Thank you again, sincerely, brothers and sisters. Peace for everyone. Choose love and live without fear. God bless us all.